Today I'm going to talk about 11 red flags to see if you are with a narcissist. Hi, I'm Nanette. Welcome back to Narcissism Exposed. So the first red flag is they'll make an excuse for any misfortune that has happened in his or her life. Why? Because number one, narcissists have no accountability for what they do. And number two, they don't want to look bad. So of course they're going to blame shift and say it was their fault. It was their fault. And then number three, they always have to feel like they're in the superior position. So any misfortune cannot possibly be their own fault. Like for instance, let's say they say their business failed. It's going to be some type of external reason why it failed and had nothing to do with him or her. Or let's say their marriage failed. They'll play the victim and, oh, it was because of what he did, or it was because of what she did. So you get where I'm going with that. So the bottom line is they cannot possibly show themselves vulnerable. The second red flag is where they are emotionally shallow. You can bring up some type of national issue or some kind of family crisis, and you will get this blank look on their face, or you'll get what I call the bobblehead. And this was my ex-narc, my previous ex-narc. So shallow emotionally, and when I would bring it up, he would get really red in the face and didn't know what to say, and his eyes would kind of bug out a little bit. And it's because, look, you cannot get from somebody what they don't have inside. So watch for that sign when you bring up some deep emotional topic. They will either change the topic or they will just have this blank look on their face. And a lot of it is because they just don't care about others. So they're kind of hollow on the inside. They have not developed a heart of empathy or compassion or feeling the kind of care and concern that we feel towards others. They don't have that. So again, don't expect from the narcissist what they don't have to give you. And the third red flag is the narcissist will avoid anything with true deep down meaning or purpose. And here I'm talking about true purpose and passion and meaning in life. And that's why the narcissist mimics or mirrors you, is because they don't have any genuine and authentic feelings towards anything with deep purpose. So they'll watch you like my ex-narc would do whenever I would express my passions and my purpose in life. He'd go, oh, I want that too. Oh, I want that too. So they'll mimic you, they'll repeat your words, they'll do some kind of, oh, I want to do in the future, I would like to save the world, or that kind of thing. You get what I'm saying here. So watch for that red flag. And this fourth red flag is huge. It is a big red flag. This one you cannot miss. Anytime any type of conflict needs to be handled, here's what you're going to get from the narcissist. You're going to get blame shifting. They're going to shame you, belittle you, and they'll even gaslight you and ghost you. So those are their prime tactics when it comes to handling conflict. Why? Because they have they don't want to reflect. They don't want to have any self-reflection or correction. So with self-reflection comes self-correction. No. So they're so full of shame and they're empty on the inside of any true character qualities. So in any type of conflict, you're going to get that whole list that I mentioned. And the fifth red flag is that the narcissist will hijack a conversation and then monopolize it. So what do I mean? Let's say you're sharing about you just got a promotion at work, or something fantastic just happened. You closed on a beautiful home. The narcissist they don't care, number one, about you and the things that matter to you. And they always want to one-up someone because they want to feel like they're in the superior position in their sick and twisted mind. So basically, they'll take over the conversation, interrupt you even, and then go off about some great thing they did, which is most times made up stuff. And they'll just continue on like that and brag about themselves. And I'm sure many, if not all of you, have experienced that, where you're sharing something deep about yourself and somebody interrupts and starts going off about themselves like that. And the sixth red flag is that you will begin to sense some type of hidden agenda here. Do not ignore this particular red flag because it builds on itself. So the narcissist sees just how much or how far they can push your autonomy, push your limits. So where, let's say in the beginning, he or she used words like, oh, do you think we could do this? Or what do you think about that? I really value what you say. Or, I was thinking about this, but I wanted to get your input. Then slowly you'll notice a shift in the usage of words. So from where he or she used could, they'll start saying should, or they'll start saying, oh, I'll take over this situation, or they won't even acknowledge your input, your opinion, or what you have to say or what's important to you. They'll start to take over. And they will leave no room for your input, your thoughts, and you will no longer have any equal say. And the seventh red flag is that the narcissist will be easily critical. So let's say you went out to dinner, right, with the narcissist, and he or she starts complaining about the waiter, and isn't the service so bad? And look at the food, it's mediocre. Or you go to see a musical or some type of performance, and they're complaining about how, oh, that's not very good. I've seen better. So they'll start criticizing others. But eventually, and hopefully it doesn't get to this place where you're still with that narcissist, but eventually they will start criticizing you. So you need to watch for that. And the eighth red flag is that they will elevate, the narcissist will elevate any small, medium, or big thing they've ever done. They'll just glorify anything and everything they've ever done while minimizing all of your accomplishments. And the ninth red flag is the narcissist will be, and here's a made up word, braggadocious. So what word do you hear as the root word there? Brag. And actually, because it's not an official word, but an unofficial word, if you will, I did look up the definition for this. And it says, to speak about oneself and one's accomplishments with excessive pride and arrogance in a grandiose manner, especially in an exaggerated way. Is this ringing a bell for many of you, right? The word braggadocious is usually applied in a negative way. It's not applied in a good way. It's meant to put them in the superior position while placing you in the inferior or small position. Enough said. And the 10th red flag is that there will be no reciprocity. So let's say he or she has a pet, has a dog. The dog's name is Fluffy, right? So they have to go out of town and they really need you to watch Fluffy for the entire weekend. So you watch Fluffy and you take good care of Fluffy, and then they ask you multiple more times, hey, I'm going here for a week, or, I'm just not going to be home to take care of Fluffy till late at night, and you're pretty much taking care of Fluffy most of the time. Well, then guess what? You have a pet too, right? Let's say you have this cute little cat and you need somebody to come over and make sure the cat gets fed and take care of the kitty litter. So you ask him or her, narcissist, that you've been doing favors for. And they'll be like, oh, of course I want to help you, but I just can't do it that weekend. I'm so sorry. Or whenever it comes up, they will have excuse after excuse after excuse till you're left scratching your head going, okay, so I guess this is one-sided. And you're absolutely right, because with a narcissist, it is one-sided. And the 11th, but not final red flag, because I'm sure if any of you can think of other red flags, jot them down below. But the 11th red flag that I listed is that if they don't like something you said or something you did, they will ghost you for either days or even weeks or even longer. Why? Because that's one of their prime ways of punishing someone that they feel did them wrong. And their sick and twisted mind. So whatever it is, it won't make sense to the healthy person, to you or I. It doesn't make any sense why they would get offended at something. But because there's no emotional maturity or emotional growth, they're hollow on the inside, of course, they're going to take offense to any little thing. Now look, I'm not saying out of these 11, let's say you found somebody who did one of them, and you can't go, you're a narc, you're a narc. We're not, that's not what we're about. That's not how we do things, right? So I call it collecting the red flags. So you see one red flag, we don't ignore it and go, oh, maybe it'll go away. And we don't like throw it away and go, well, it doesn't matter. So what we do is we collect these red flags, right? We collect them till we have, let's say, maybe half a dozen or so. Then we start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And then you watch for consistency. How often does this occur? Is it continuous? Is it on a cycle? And that's what you need to watch for, because look, occasionally we may do one or two or three of these. However, that doesn't necessarily make you a narcissist. You watch for consistency and if it is cyclical. And this can be concerning, not just a narcissist, but any toxic person that has no consideration for you, your life, your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings. Cut them out, because look, you deserve somebody who values you, your life, and appreciates you. You don't need to tolerate bad behavior ever. And you should look for somebody who is just like you, who has the same core values, the same belief system, the same ethics, and the same boundaries, so that you can experience a beautiful and flourishing relationship together. And there's a great verse in God's word, and it's in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6, and it says, do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls, your beautiful, glorious pearls, before swine. Why? Because they will trample them under their feet. And if that's not enough, okay, and I want you to be thinking of the narcissist, if that's not enough for that swine to trample your beautiful, glorious pearls, they will turn around and tear you into pieces. You must believe this. You must get this very clear in your mind. The motto of this channel is, once you know, you gotta go. There's no sticking it out, and there's no hoping that they'll change. None of that. Because once you see the continuous, cyclical, bad behavior towards you, it will only get worse if you accept it and stay in that relationship. So let me know if any of these 11 flags resonate with you. And if you have others, go ahead and jot those down as well. Now, if you found this helpful, do hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, do hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I put out a video. And until next time, walk in peace and be blessed in your hearts.